everyone. My name is Liz Ricketts. I'm the co-founder and director of the OR Foundation, and we're here at our No More Fast Fashion Lab, which is just a 10-minute walk from Enoch Market, the largest secondhand clothing market in the world, and we're here to give you a tour. So, no more man capital, fast fashion. Welcome. So first thing when we walk in, we have our bulletin board here, which serves as our accountability wall. So this is actually made out of textile waste that we recovered from the market that otherwise would have ended up on the beaches or in dump sites. And this is where we pin labels of brands that we find most often in the waste stream. And that's part of what we're doing here. So this space is for two purposes. One is material transformation. So we're trying to find new material and product pathways for the clothing that leaves Continental as waste. And two is as a community center where we host dialogue sessions, we connect Continental retailers and tailors with other members of the value chain around the world, and we also have training sessions. In terms of material transformation, the way we're running the space is on 4 to 6 month cycles, where every 4 to 6 months we choose one material type to focus on, but we treat a garment as a material type. So this cycle is all about t-shirts. And we recently, well, just last week, we had a 4-day open house for the community here in Accra, and we showed some of the materials and products that we think are most viable out of our R&D, and that's what I'm going to show you here today. So we buy waste from the retailers every 2 to 3 weeks, and it's really important that we're purchasing the waste, that we're not trying to get it for free, because most of the clothing leaves the market as waste because the retailers are trapped in a debt cycle. And when we buy the waste, we don't look at what we're getting. We buy whatever they have as waste, we bring it in, we're not sure exactly what colors we're going to get, what condition the materials are going to be in, and so we have to first sort it, and we have 3 different sorts. So first, we are simply sorting by fiber type. So we want to know how much of the load that we brought in is 100% cotton, 100% polyester, or blends. And so that's the first sort we do and document. And then secondly, we have an archival process where we're looking at the origin story of some of the graphics, and then also doing deeper research on some of the brands we might not be familiar with, as well as trying to calculate the miles traveled around the world of that specific load of waste before it entered the No More Fast Fashion Lab. And then last, we basically are sorting for use. And that for us is just looking at durability. Things that are still durable enough to go back into textiles, we immediately put into new yardage. So we cut out all of the bad parts, the pit stains, the holes, and we take that and we make new yardage with it, which we call re-roll, which is a term that was created by a designer named Zero Waste Daniel, who's based in New York City and a big inspiration for us. And with this material, it's not only very useful, you can cut and sew it for garments or for interior, for cushions, for anything that you would use textile for, but it's also a great training tool. So we have a lot of apprentices here who work with us, as well as tailors from Continental, and the apprentices might never have sewn before, and so this is a really good way to learn how to use the machines and also to get familiar with vast array of different textile types, because even though we're only dealing with t-shirts, we get all sorts of blends and different densities of material and quality of material coming through this space. Unfortunately, this is only a small part of the waste that we get in. Most of the waste is not durable enough to continue its life as textile. So over here, we're at our shredder. This shredder was built by our teammate Paul, who built it based off of a precious plastic model but modified it to work for textiles. And it's very important that we built this at the scale of the marketplace, because our mission is to support the good work that's already happening in Continental. Continental is the best model of a circular economy we have in the world. It's the largest reuse and upcycling economy in the world, and we want to try to amplify that and give people new tools to be able to build on the good work that's already happening. So this is a size that will fit in a market stall, and therefore could be owned sort of in a cooperative structure by retailers and tailors in the market. And importantly, it also fits within the electrical grid of the market, so it can function and not break all the electricity for everyone else in the market. And so once we shred the material, over here you'll see that we have shredded material by color. Anything that is shredded by color is 100% cotton, and that's our way of being able to keep that separate. And then the material that is mixed fiber material. And we want to keep these separate because we are also running decomposition tests on the materials to see how they interact with the environment, and we want to be able to understand the toxicology of anything that we're putting out there, especially this fiberboard material. Here you can see different samples of our fiberboard experiments, and these are different types of glues. So we are trying to make sure that we're using glue that can safely become bioavailable in the environment or that is made out of waste. So that's mostly been cassava glue, milk glue, and then styrofoam glue. Cassava glue we found to make the most sense, not only from a materials perspective, but also from a systems perspective, because we can purchase it directly from the market, and we can also get the starch that's starting to go bad after the tailors have been using it to upfit jeans and suits and other things like that. And so here you also can see sort of the different densities of the material. We've cooked them at different temperatures. We have an oven over here, which I won't show you because it's far away. And then also pressed some of them, not others. And then we've also sifted out some of the bigger pieces just to see how it impacts the quality of the material. It's very, very, very strong. So you can't break it. And it can be used for a lot of different applications. Here you can see a table application of the fiberboard with our friend Aja Barber's book resting on it. Here's another table that's made out of the fiberboard. Also has our pin cushions on it, which are made out of the t-shirt sleeves. And this table also was built on top of a frame that was sourced from the dump site. And then here you can see a nice gradient. We've already had a few orders from local artists to create sort of backdrops and installations with the material. You can also see it being used as a picture frame and bulletin board. And there's another one over here with color blocking that's really nice. The other things that we're doing with the shredded material are cushions. So here you have the shredded material inside of rice sacks. These are used rice sacks that people sell on the streets. And we also take the t-shirts that maybe aren't in good enough condition to go back into yardage, and we can weave with them and then also make pillows and stuff that with the shredded material. There's another little donut one there, which is very cute. And this chair, which we created, was woven on top of a frame that came directly from the dump site. Our team member Sammy has started making really fun fashion pillows. So this one you can see is the Air Force One t-shirt that we created a pillow out of, and is stuffed with the shredded material. It is removable so that you can wash it and has an insert. And then here again is more samples of the shredded material inside of the pillow. So it's t-shirt on the outside, t-shirt on the inside, and more of the rice sack cushions here, which are really nice and roll up very easily. These are actually quite heavy, which is good because it's taking a lot of weight of material, waste material out of this space. They're about 5 pounds or more of material per cushion. So over here we have another one of the products that we think will work really well, which are lamps. So the lampshades are made out of the textile waste, which we mold on top of our used water bottles that we use for drinking water here in the office. In Ghana, we can't drink water out of the tap, so we have to use plastic, and we reuse them in a lot of different ways, and this is one of them. This one is really cool. You can see this came from a conference t-shirt, conference sponsor, which we made Minnie Mouse. And then all of the lamp, again, is waste material, so waste metal, industrial metal waste, and then also a Dufour gallon that was used for cooking grease that we've repurposed into the planter. And then even the concrete that's poured in the bottom underneath these plants has the textile, shredded textile mixed into it. We were able to displace about 30% of the sand in the concrete with the textile, which is very important because concrete is a really resource-intensive material. And then over here you can see another lamp, just a different sort of shape, and this one's really nice. It has a sort of stained glass effect. And then we also are wrapping the metal with what we call t-shirt edges. So we try to make best use of every different part of the t-shirt. So again, we use the sleeves for pin cushions, the edges, so the hemline on the neck, the sleeve, and the actual hemline of the shirt, we cut off and repurpose in different ways because it's already sewn and we want to preserve that. And then again, the same with the concrete there. And then we've also made hanging lampshades. We've installed 8 of them. And again, they're made out of the t-shirt waste, and then we've also wrapped the cord with t-shirt yarn and the edges of the t-shirt so that it's aesthetically pleasing. And then over here, we have another lamp just at the doorway where you can actually see the concretes with the textile mixed into it. So last but not least, actually my favorite product that we've made is the mop. And so with this, of course, we're using the t-shirt waste as the head of the mop, but then the attachment is also really special. So the mold that we made for the attachment is made out of recycled aluminum that also came from the dump site where the clothing waste ends up. And then it's injected with recycled plastic, mostly polythene bags, which are these black plastic bags that everything is wrapped in here. That's basically very much a menace here in Accra. And then it also fits on the standard mop that's sold here, so it can be interchangeable. And we've really tried to think of everything we've made as a system in terms of durability and life cycle, so that people could, use the mop. Once it becomes no longer useful, they can bring this textile material back to us, get a new head, and then we can also shred this and put it into the fiberboard. Very importantly for us, we never want to skip reuse and resale in the waste hierarchy or upcycling of clothing. Though we work a lot with the retailers and tailors to upcycle and repair and also to resell things to different customers. And so this is a rack of clothing that we've collected from 3 retailers who are very good friends of ours, that we are keeping in the space and helping them to sell to a different customer base than the people who might regularly go to the market. One of the products that we're making from the re-roll is tea towels or dish towels. And so here you can see an example, which is really cool. You can see the sort of different elements of a lot of different shirts. And then it has our motto, too much clothing, not enough justice, and also no more fast fashion, which is the name of this lab.